morning facilitator in the house say aye. The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Afternoon today, we also started some minutes ago. We want to have a talk. And in the room, as I told you, from yesterday, we were having a guest. And our guest is Madam Makapila Juliet from UK. This is a lady who changes lives. And from the morning sessions, you also saw for yourselves that in as much as we are talking about implementation or facilitation on how we can work better, si tulikuwa na changamoto. Yes, ourselves we still feel discriminated, we still feel a lot. So moving forward, this lady is a community developer, and she changes lives, working together with others. So this afternoon, I want to call the presence of Madam Juliet, please. Madam Juliet, come forward so that introduce you officially. She is here officially. Madam CEO CAF knows that she is here because I called before, I consulted before, we made a ruling. It was okay with CAF that we work in partnership and many partners, and even it is because of the partner that we are here. And for that reason, I'm humble, feel most welcome. How many people helped me applaud that she's one of us? Thank you so much, Madam Juliet, be part of the meeting. And please take us through a talk of which you have. We are happy that the inclusion of persons with disabilities is working well in the United Kingdom, and we saw it for ourselves in a clip in the morning, right? So members, be as attentive as possible, be as positive as possible, and may God take you through even as we discussed today. Thank you. Yes.
And before she sits down, first of all, give a round of applause to the chair here, Madam Esther, all the way from the building. What a beautiful welcome. I want to fill this house, please. You know, I want to fill this house. That's the sort of person I am. Haya, niongee Kiswahili ama niongee Kizungu ama nichanganye? Nichanganye. Haya. Asante sana MC Mary Njeri for taking us this morning, and asante sana Lona. Asante sana kunikaribisha katika nchi ambayo niliozaliwa hapa Kenya. Nashukuru sana. Mimi mtoto wenu, nimezaliwa Kenya, nakaa UK, na nawaambia ya kwamba I love to promote disability. I love to promote inclusion. I love to promote the people of Kenya. Magical Kenya, I call it. And I tell you what, never underestimate the power of where you come from. Are you hearing me? Yes. I have lived in UK for over since 1990 something, early years, or 80 something, 1992, I believe, from UK. So half my years have been spent in United Kingdom. But above that, sijasahau Kiswahili. Watu wengine wanakuja Ulaya na wanasema walisahau kuzungumza lugha ya taifa. Mimi si kama huyo. So nataka kuwashukuru kwa kunikaribisha katika kipindi chenu hapa UK, and on behalf of all the MCAs across the whole of the assembly. Congratulations for being elected, all of you. I want to also applaud this forum, because I feel that with this forum you're shaping up the future of the country. And with all the work that I have had from Madam Josephine, and of course Madam Honorable Madam Esther, don't underestimate the power of networking. We know the power of networking. Sawa. Don't ever fear to speak. Now, I will give you a quick briefing of how I came into knowing about yourself. Last year, 2018, I was in Nakuru. Nilikuwa wapi? Nilikuwa nimekuja tu kutembelea mama. Sawa. Na kumuona nimkaribishe na nimwambie it was a surprise. And as I was sitting down in having a chat with a wonderful person that was sitting next to my table, and that is how the conversation began. So that was around September, October last year, and the chat started from there. Then, as I was listening carefully, what had started from a breakfast morning ended up a chat of championing the persons with disability here in United Kingdom. In Kenya, but further to exchange that in United Kingdom. So we started speaking about the barriers we were facing, and I've been hearing it all, from Madam Josephine, all the way to Madam Esther, all the way to somebody called Honorable Victoria from Kitui, from wherever. So nimesikia majina yenu. Asante kwa hayo, just a small briefing. Now, to see here and just to sit down and to take you through what I have prepared. Before I start, I want us to look at the program that you've been given here and the purpose of the event. And just to retaliate what the MC had brought us this morning, Madam Mary Jerry. And I think she brought us to the picture that there was a pre-summit, I believe, and prior to that, that was extending the issues of persons with disability here, as I picked. And in front of you, you've got the pre-summit conference for legislators with disability. So I don't want it just to be a piece of paper. I want every single person to come out looking at what is being said in this program over here. And thank you so much to all the sponsors over here. So I picked a few notes over here, and I can see that the legislators representing persons with disabilities ought to be adequately, that's page 21, adequately facilitated and resourced to enable them effectively to carry out their representative roles and a mandate, and in particular, through provision of office operation costs and mileage for parliamentary. And this morning, I could hear you discussing some of those issues that you were picking from such matters. So let me now just bring you to also, so I'll leave that with you because I know that all of you will be looking, but I needed to stress the fact that this is what you're all here for, right? So, in order to push forward towards persons with disability, I prepared something briefly for you. And at this juncture, first of all, I'm going to just quickly run through that quickly, and Mary will help me there. So you know my name is Juliet Makapila, I'm based in United Kingdom, and these slides will also be sent towards you. I'll give them to Madam Esther. And while she's, I think I picked the wrong colors there as well. I need fitting a bit there. So how do we define disability is a question that I asked. How do we define disability? That is something that I want us to discuss here today. So that is something that I want. And quickly, just quickly, what do you think disability is? Anyone in this room? And feel free, changamke. And the reason I'm setting this question, I want to bring you to how we are looking at disability in Europe. So how do we define disability right now in the 21st century? And as you're thinking about that one, anyone to help me? Yes?
Disability is one who has different abilities. That is what I mean.
According to me, disability is anything that restricts you from doing your normal duties day-to-day activities.
Pigeni makofi tafadhali. definition there, which is according to WHO, and that's the World Health Organization, disability is an umbrella term covering impairment, activities, limitation, and participation restriction. So the next question I set there was, how is disability viewed by society in the 21st century? And that includes both Kenya and United Kingdom. How is disability viewed? Come on, nyinyi ndio champions wa county tafadhali. How is it viewed? Hapa hiteko, mtu mmoja.
Disability in the 21st century, that is the century to where we are, I would say that disability is viewed with discrimination, and it still requires a lot of advocacy, though it is in knowledge and it is in laws and books running this republic, and that is Kenya.
I think disability is viewed in a manner of a kind of a stereotype. Those who are able to be different, that is their honor. Stigmatization, discrimination, they are viewed in a very different manner how that they can't perform well. But due to the current sensitization, we are trying to come up, and due to the human rights and the Bill of Rights which we have in the Constitution, we are viewed differently, and they think we are persons but who have different abilities.
Thank you. Contrary to the previous belief in the previous century, where people shied away from disability, currently there are people who are viewing disabilities as an opportunity. Therefore, you find many people masquerading as two disabilities, wanting to be we call them opportunists, yeah? Wanting to register disability as with disability just to gain the benefits that are attached to people with disability. So there are those people that have become opportunists, wanting to pick on disability as their way of maybe getting more benefits or opportunities.
Asante sana.
Disability is viewed differently according to different cultures. Like we find in coast, they view it as a curse.
Thank you. Disability, you can view it from several angles. I would say maybe from a religious perspective, from a medical perspective, from a human rights perspective, and from a traditional perspective. From the religious perspective, it is viewed that God has intended a curse on you. Not really a curse, but God has intended that you be born like that. And there are reasons that the religious books explain. From a medical perspective, it is viewed as you are disabled, you have a problem with your legs, they need to be fixed, matched, corrected, probably put some metal so that you either walk or see properly. Maybe from a human rights perspective, it is viewed that this is a person who has some limitations and they have some rights that I think they need to be fulfilled as they can be corrected. And from the traditional perspective, it is viewed that probably your grandfather or your mother stole something of this thing and you were cursed and you became disabled. So you can look at it in different angles.
Asanteni sana. So nataka muweze kufikiria what is happening now in the world in the 21st century. Na hapa Kenya tumefika wapi? And that is why your forum is absolutely important in shaping up the whole of the country and enabling that change. So I'm just going to quickly touch on the UK there. How does UK define disability? And in UK, we look into the whole structure as you saw earlier on in your video. In other words, all the impairment that is affected in terms of enabling and shape and making sure that persons with disability are included in promoting and inclusion in United Kingdom. We have in UK a Disability Act, and that is DDA. And to give you some homework, I'll make sure I leave that so that you can ask me later so I can communicate with you in person. So what is Discrimination Act? And in your constitution here in Kenya, it is already shaped up for you through the Constitution of Kenya that was brought up in 2010. So disability holds different meaning to different people. Do you agree that? Yes. Yeah? So in my experience, I find that sometimes being the founder of Diversity in Kenyan Community, and I'll bring you up to a story at this point. Here in, I set up a group of 20 to help 28 persons with disability. And I tell you what, it was a challenge. A good challenge, but also a learning challenge in my experience. And that's what really gives me motivation as well. The challenges were, to start off with, were to get, and I heard you people discussing about resources. So to get resourcing the volunteers. I applaud every single volunteer here in Kenya who has championed the matters of disability. Hebu wapigieni makofi tafadhali. Volunteers in Kenya have done amazing work. And while you're shaping up the issues, I ask every single MCA to consider paying volunteer expenses, especially when they are truly, and you've identified, I believe there was a table somewhere, somebody was asking a question about how do you pay the people who are doing. So while you're shaping that up and you're identifying with your PWD, I would love you to consider the volunteers. In my case, being in United Kingdom was also a struggle in terms of maintaining the volunteer expenses because I'm not funded. But you know what? I still celebrate the government of Kenya because the government of Kenya does not limit you from helping and getting funding. But I tell you what, as good as we are also not good in filling the application forms that are supposed to be filled in meeting the criteria that are set. So you can imagine to try and merge the two sometimes can be quite slow and challenging. So that's one of the things. But I also want to suggest that the issues of persons with disability are real. And again, coming back to the question, or to say disability holds different meaning to different people. Now, nataka mcheke, lakini pia muone kwa nini ninawapatia mfano huo. Here in Kenya, we had the cerebral palsy group. And one thing that I learned here in Kenya, through the volunteers, yeah? So that is why I find them so special in my heart, and coordinated by volunteer Paul, and Winnie, and Mary, and a few others behind Beatrice, I believe. When we came to Nakuru, they have objectives which they would love to achieve, similar to many counties. Many of those opportunities are, they would love to study further, as you would all probably appreciate. They want employment opportunities. They want to have accessibility and good transport systems across the whole country. They want that they are involved in politics, in the economic sector, in the social welfare of their being. Housing situation is limited. Many of the people, some of them have dropped out. So similar cases perhaps across the whole counties. Is that the field? Is that the field? So you've got this. Now, I want to suggest that FCAs are the most important people shaping our countries. Mmesikia? Nimesema nini? Because it's in your counties that things are really shaping up. And whatever decisions that you take needs to really be pushed towards helping the livelihoods of the people of Kenya, transforming and shaping the people of Kenya. Nisawa, I want you to have confidence in speaking and never shying away from any governors, and never shying away from any senators, and never shying away from any MPs, and putting them straight into their duties. Umesikia? Tunazungumza lugha moja? Nataka muwe na confidence ya kuwauliza ni wewe umekuja hapa. And another thing I noticed while I'm in Kenya is out of respect, which is fantastic. But I want us to understand the boundaries in which you are elected as well. Is that okay? So, and form those good relationships. And I think the dynamics and the confusion sometimes is which party do you belong to? Ninazungumza. So kama mimi ni wa Jubilee ama kama mimi ni wa wapi? It doesn't really matter. Nyinyi wote ni wamoja mkishaingia katika serikali. Ni sawa? Right. I'm just saying it so that you are able to feel comfortable in enabling and shaping and improving the livelihoods of the people of Kenya. You are at the forefront of pushing the agenda and persons with disability. Tuko pamoja? So I'm going to go to my next question, and feel free to ask me questions. My next slide. Causes of disability worldwide. Ninazileta zile mlikuwa mnazungumza. Birth, illnesses, and I want us to take the challenge of illnesses because I want to give you an overview of what probably you need to be thinking about in your counties. Arthritis, watu wanazeeka. Watu wanazeeka. Kwa hivyo ugonjwa itakuja ama itakuja. So arthritis becomes a form of. Are you already thinking about such issues in your counties? Diabetes. Ni watu wangapi wamesikia diabetes? Sikiliza, nataka kusikia. Watu wengi. Cancer, ni watu wangapi wamesikia? Stroke. Iko nyingi. Nervous system disorders, epilepsy. Umezisikia wengine wamezaliwa na ugonjwa ya kifafa. In the past, you hear it's witchcraft, you hear it's what? Umesikia? Lakini now in the 21st century we know it's epilepsy. Si ni kweli? Kwa hivyo tunasonga. Alzheimer's and dementia. Kweli ama si kweli? Tukizeeka tunaanza kusahau, hata tukumbuki kulikuja, tunaonyeshwa picha, ndio mnaona nachukua picha pale. Ndio nikikumbuka nakumbuka mwezi huu tariki hii tulikuwa hapa. So snake bites. We live in a tropical country. Many a times we forget that snakes can cause disability. In fact, the trainer who I gave to help me to push things in persons with disability was actually disabled himself. And many thanks to that volunteer. And when he told me his story, he came to me and he said, Madam Juliet, the way I got my disability is through a snake. And nobody identified him while he was a child. And so the poison then caused his form of disability. What does that suggest to me as a social scientist? It suggests to me that if the area was perhaps clean and the grass was cut, such avoidances would have been avoided. Tunazungumza. So it's up to you to make sure that your constituencies pale pamekatwa nyasi, so that we don't have these, we limit. So I had to mention that. And because I'm also pushing persons with disability in Africa, is also there for that reason. Mental health and depression. You cannot remove the link between the two. Persons with disability. In fact, I'll give you a story last year. Nimefika pale kwetu Njoro, naangalia ma projects, and the persons with the disability akaja. Akaniambia, mama, nipe shilingi 200. A person with disability is demanding to ask me, nimpe 200. And I can see he's actually in his wheelchair. And I asked him, I'm that type of person who likes accountability. Ni sawa? Nataka uniambie nikikupa hii shilingi yangu 200 utafanyia nini? The person with disability akakasirika juu nimemuuliza hiyo swali. Nimemuuliza nikikupa hii 200, si tuketi chini tukunywe soda. But yet, and I know very well that I put up a center in Njoro for persons with disability. I got a computer for 8, so I got 5 computers for 6 computers in the office, and I wanted access for ICT to improve the whole of Njoro, which is where I put in fact, even my laptop, I just put it in the office. So while I was traveling back to UK, I left it there so that people could benefit to add to whatever. Do you know what disappointed me was the factor that persons with disability felt I should pay them to go and study. Now that, are you hearing me? Munanisikia? That came as a shock to me. Munanisikia? It came as a to me because I could not see how somebody would expect me to force them to go to education. And in enabling that change, I took another different step. And I decided it will not only be through DKC that will shape up, but it will actually shape up in the Polytechnic next to where we are, where my mom lives. And I approached the Polytechnic there, which was a bit run down. And I said, my money will go to the Polytechnic. Tunazungumza. Because if that is even pushed, hata kama ni hizo 4 computers or whatever, it will extend itself. And through the back doors, I might just be able to push the facilities of enabling education and improving the standard of persons with disability. And in bringing that, one of the issues that I discovered, or I felt, was what you already championed. I started the call of, and that was around 2010, 2011, 2013, you're looking at. So I started the push towards buses and legal access to persons with disability in the country. Because I knew that if at least a bus is there in each county, maybe that might make it easy. But because of, again, social scientist background, I thought, are people with disability able to manage that bus, even if the bus was there? Nanielewa? Are they able to run it? Ama itakuja ikwame. Sindiyafanyikanga hivyo? Then you start thinking it, okay, then what next? Ama itakuwa ni mambo ya budget kila siku. Si ni kweli? So I want MCS to think about, because you're now going into the next step, which is Mary was speaking about the access and implementation process, and I believe there will be an implementation process and strategy. And I believe some of you have already started thinking you're struggling with implementation. I'm right there. Watu wako, ma civil engineer wako, ma community developers wako. And at this stage, let's not forget community developers. Because community change makers and developers and volunteers shape this country. But actually do it as a value and use their own resources. Let's not forget them. So the next thing is barriers of disability, physical environment, negative attitudes of people with disability, stigma and labeling from the public. And some of you, that's what I hear. Munakuwa stigmatized, and that's the language on the street. And even in UK, that is what is happening as well. Despite whatever, we have different people saying how stigmatized. As immediately you declare you are a person with disability, people are scared to even declare. And again, at this juncture, there is also hidden disability. For instance, sickle anemia. Yeah, so unaona mtu kabisa niko poa, yeah, HIV for instance, yeah, mtu si yako tu amekaa hivyo lakini hajakuambia, si ni kweli? But it brings a form of disability, si ndio? So health issues, si ndio? Yeah, older people, elderly, si ni kweli? So you have a very serious responsibility, all of you MCAs, to think these things through very well. High unemployability, this is a cross-board. Mtasikia kila mtu anasema hakuna kazi za disability. How do we create? And in Kenya, I'm hearing the 30% allocation, which is what Madam Mary was also explaining, that you need to make sure this is going to the right places. The need for fair housing. Fair housing. And while I was writing that, I had to think about something. As I wrote that down, nikaanza kufikiria, lakini hata naandika housing, but ni responsibility ya serikali kupatia kila mmoja wetu nyumba. So you can see the dilemma in that question. Ama ni mtu anatakana anunue shamba yake, alafu ukinunua unajijengea. What are the challenges? What are we facing? Inclusion at its best. Public transport barriers. And thank you so much for picking United Kingdom and shaping up our policies. Nimefurahia kuona the video. Chamwana report, thank you so much for KTN News for bringing us into that video that Madam Mary played this morning. I'm absolutely delighted to see that you came to UK and you experienced our public transport. And you know what? It's very, very comfortable. Nikija huku, let me make you laugh. This is interesting now. It will make you laugh. So, public transport is good, but at UK bado tuna complain, you know, like, huku kuko hivi la nini, we're still trying to modernize. We try and modernize and modernize and modernize. And especially when it comes to Kiwanja and Ndege, because that is also something that we push forward. You will see there's a lot of politics. And by the way, I'm also a politician, but today, I'm here not as a politician, I'm here as a community change maker, community transformer. But I'm wearing this so that at least I can push forward. You should always register to vote. So I'm wearing some of the badges so that I know that we are pushing forward to that. So mtacheka, nikija hapa. I remember a few years back, nikija. Everybody here and many African countries are pushing forward to very good public transport. But I set another question a few years back in 2007 or 8 there. And I said, good transport systems are fantastic, but in rural villages and wherever, but is rural transport, public transport needed everywhere? Kila pahali. At one time, I had to ask myself that question. And one of the things behind science, if I may bring stems there, is making sure that our countries in Africa are never exploited as well. Tunaelewana? Si ni kweli? Hatutaki minerals zetu zinaibiwa. Tunataka ikae katika nchi yetu. Minerals sitaki ziibiwe. So one of the things when it comes to environment, as we are improving our public transport, tunaona aje, how do we want our country? Hapa, Kenya. Yeah? One of the things I say, mimi nataka, when I look at Ghana for instance, and I look at some of the issues. Mining inaenda inaibiwa, mnawachwa bila kitu. Sitaki mali yetu ya Kenya iibiwe. Mnanisikia? Sijasikia vizuri? Mnanisikia? And that's something that I really want us to maintain as MCAs and always be aware. Communication and ICT. Behind the back door there you can see. We can use ICT in a good way, but we can also use ICT in a bad way. Let us learn to use our ICT in a good way. Mnanielewa? And efficiency. How many of all the MCAs here have been trained properly how to use the tablets? Na nyinyi wote ninaona kwanza, Kenya is known for having good mobile banking. Hapa, hebu kwanza mjipigie makofi kwa hiyo. It's one of the best mobile banking. It took off. Hata huko kwetu nyumbani huko London hatujafikia mobile banking, e-banking. Lakini Kenya is known for those issues. But I want all of you to make an effort to learn how to use your mobiles. Hata mimi mwenyewe, I need to do that. Nanisikia? So recently I'm shaping up, especially as the mobile phones are getting better. How are we using our social media? Wengi wenu nimeona katika kaunti zenu, muko na page, lakini you're not active. Mnanisikia? You're not active. But there is somebody, I think Honorable Mwaura. Is there Honorable Mwaura here? Aha, Senator. Naonanga. Naona. Lakini kuna mwingine mnajua ule nasema. Naonanga, I don't know who he is, but I can see it when I'm in Kenya. Somewhere around him. Senator. Naonanga, champion. Leo nimefanya kazi hii. So in other words, you're identifying where your dilemmas are. And other people are picking. In Migori, we probably need whatever needs is there. In Kitui, we probably need. And the needs are not the same, as you can see. You know, they're similar, but perhaps in the different counties that you are, you might find that maybe there's higher, in Nakuru, for example, I don't know, but I'm just saying, maybe there's a lot of persons with blindness, right? And when I call the groups, I see it myself. There's a lot of amputees. In fact, during that time, I remember challenging the issue of being asked to pay for another licensee so that I would be able to bring a football team for playing football. And I refused. I said, why should I pay another fee when I've got community-based organization and I'm actually putting up development in the country? Do you know what? In the end, due to the bureaucracy, I paid it. But I paid it with a lot of pain because I'm not funded. So I come to the limitation of capacity builders like myself. This hour. Rituals. I come down to albinism. Munasikia story nyingi sana. Katika mpaka ya Uganda na Tanzania watu wanauawa. Jamani. Kwa sababu mtu alizaliwa jinsi fulani. MCAs, kweli kabisa. We want to put a stop to all this, especially in our country. And thank you to every single person that has ensured that these issues are identified. Na mkiwapata wote mnawaleta katika mahakamani ili waweze to face the justice that belongs. Because the issue in the 21st century needs to be understood. It's our gender barriers. Madam Mary spoke about gender barriers earlier on. Akasema saa zile groups za wamama zinapush vitu na nyinyi mnapush mambo za nini? Za wazi disability. Si alisema language barriers and cultural issues. Give me the next slide. Barriers, yeah. So the next thing, what policies do we have in Kenya? Na mnajua ya kwamba katika constitution ya Kenya tuko na hiyo mambo ya pushing forward mambo za disability. Si ni kweli? How well are we doing is the question, and I think this forum is really pushing those details. Si ni kweli, Madam Esther? Across Africa, tomorrow I will be bringing you what I see, the vision, and I've been sharing that a lot with Madam Esther. So tomorrow we will be looking at something which I want us to also think outside the box. Si ile tu inafanyika hapo katika Kisii ama Migori ama nini, but thinking and generating your own ideas and really shaping and helping that to shape up. What policies do we have in UK? So I brought that out. The policy in UK, we have Equality Act 2010, based on the UN Convention on Disability Rights, which outlaws discrimination in most areas, including employment, education, and dealing with the police as well. So I'll reference that. How do we stay on top of the adapting world, and do persons with disability in Kenya feel the constitution is working? Do you feel that constitution is working? Hebu semeni ndio watu wasikie. In this table, it's working. It's working, fantastic. Right? Na nyinyi hii table? It is working. Well done to Kenya government for that. Munasikia aje hii new constitution? It's not working. It's partially working. Mixed. It's 50-50. Unasikia hiyo President Uhuru tunakuambia 50-50, wengine wanasikia vizuri. Haya, mwingine? Partially working. So we need to get it really working. And yourself?
We need to implement what we say, because some of the policies that have been put in the new constitution, they are not being implemented. So it is partially working.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to add?
I think it is working, because if it was not working, we would have not been here. But because it is working, the product, that's why we are here.
Thank you so much. I just put that up to give you a sense.
Even if everything has not been implemented, already we have a devolved government. All the works at the counties, it's no longer at the national level. So once we come to Agenda 4, water, housing, all those, everyone will benefit once they're implemented.
I think,
Asanteni sana, and yourself?
I think the constitution is working. We are the ones who are not working. Because the constitution has given us the platform to work. So the constitution will not work without us. So we need to wake up and work.
Yeah. Thank you so much. There's no right or wrong answers I must suggest. But let me tell you what. I can see some of you laughing over there. But let me tell you what. What is important is ensuring that what we've got in the constitution is working again for the people of Kenya. Sini sawa? Tunaelewana? But I wanted you to get a flavor of that kind of question. Sini kweli? Haya, in Kenya, how many people are living with disability? While I was researching, I came up and I noticed no accurate data. But the UN suggests 10% is typically, which would mean, I wasn't too sure about that, but 3.5 million. So in the UK, the data of people living with disability is 13.9 million, and I got that from what we call Scoop UK. Do we have data of persons with disability across Africa? Estimated, 60.80 million disability news. Okay, so I got that from there. This hour. So perhaps having a kind of, and I believe we do have it, but maybe it's not really shared properly. Does that make sense? Yeah? I think we do capture it across Africa. But I also want to applaud Kenya for the way it handles issues with disability. Across Africa, I think you're one of the best. So clap for yourself. My next page. So now, I come to employment. I tried to pick up many issues. Employment opportunity. What jobs are available for persons with disability? Hebu niambieni katika kaunti ya hapa, kazi za disability ni zipi? Wanafanya kazi zipi? Kazi ziko zote. Thank you. Okay? How is recruitment considered? How do you consider recruitment in Kenya here?
Recruitment is well stipulated in the law of Kenya, but it is bureaucratic on the way it is implemented, because the law says all the nominative and appointive position, 5% should be left for persons with disabilities, but that is not the actual sense of the ground.
And so, while she's speaking there, I'm going to set up a question. Who is responsible for making sure that it's set up? And I want to suggest that it is you MCAs. Unanisikia? Ni nyinyi? Ninyi? Kwa sababu, hiyo mambo yote ikifanyika mko wapi? Mnanielewa? So go back into your towns and feel empowered to ask good questions to your governors, to your senators, to your MPs, and let them come back and account to you. This is what we have put up for those. Kwa sababu, hata leo naweza kupata accident nikuwe disabled. Si ni kweli? And people are also got, as I said, hidden disabilities. So, how is that well managed? Si ni kweli? So nataka niwapatie tu hizo pointers. In the UK, how do we while you're thinking about that, the next question, which is critical, and I think you spoke about it earlier, how do we support more persons with disability to access work? And I think one of the issues that Madame over here suggested was, what's her name? Yes, Madam? Mandela suggested was, and cleared it with the chair and the rod, was Form 4. Watu wafike Form 4. Ndio dropouts wa wale watu hawajaweza kwenda shule for whatever reason waanze kusoma. Si ni kweli? See, that is a good thing. Yeah? So that's really good to see that. In the UK, what jobs do persons with disability do? And there is also a challenge in the UK. I can say that to you now, because I live there, and we do a lot of work. So one of the things that we push, there's a lot of discrimination, there's a lot of labeling, there's a lot of stereotype. What anaogopa? The same thing that you would perhaps experience is the same mutual feeling that persons with disability would perhaps have. But I think maybe in terms of voicing out to the right people, the fear is less. Is that? Yes, the fear is less, whereby persons with in some groups, you'll have certain things, certain groups, let's say like Diabetes UK, will push forward for making sure that persons with diabetes are heard, or Arthritis UK. And another thing, I want you to also make an effort to use those good sites. Say, for example, cancer. You know, we have the Macmillans. There's a lot of good information in ICT. No need of duplicating efforts in your counties. Because the data is already there. And you can introduce some of those things in your counties. It's out. So I think, and how is the health of the nations of Kenya? How is the health of the nation of Kenya? And that brings in persons with disability. Eh? How many people are buying into the National Fund and whatever? Are persons with disability are able to meet that effort? Ya kuweza kulipa. Na kama hawana kazi, how is it lessened? MCAs, you need to be thinking about that. Are we seeing more chronic illnesses across Kenya, and why? And I set that out because of sitaki mpate maugonjwa za Europe. Unanisikia? Ama hamjanisikia? Ama mmechoka? So, for instance, there's been a high rise in cancer here. Si ni kweli? There's been a very high rise. Si ni kweli? Na nimekuwa nikiona, and in fact, my dad passed away with cancer. So I champion issues of making sure that the health of the nation across sector is not impacted in matters of lifestyle. Unanielewa? So MCAs, unakuta, sitaki kuona personally, that's my own experience. Sitaki kuona tuko na Wimpy's and hamburgers. Hey, mkienda America watu wamefika hapa. Unanisikia? That's in America. One of the biggest issues in America is obesity. Ndio inaua watu. Unanielewa? Ninajua mnastuka, lakini we are here to capacity build and learn from each other. And I'm honored to be your guest here today. So I want you to take the best. Na mniulize maswali, usiogope. Tafadhali, I've been in UK as a home for many, many years. And today is the dream come true. I wanted to meet many of you. And I've met you under one who saw it's God's doing. Nanielewa? Don't lose this opportunity. So I'm asking, health of the nation. And I want to also suggest, perhaps, persons with disability are very healthy in many African countries. How about that? Mshawahi fikiria hiyo? I want to suggest that. Let's start a conversation. People with disability, especially in African countries, yeah, very healthy, more than anybody else. I pose that question. You think it's true? Yeah? What about you?
It is true. I personally, let me take for example, the example of myself. It's only recently that I started feeling getting colds, no? Because before I would not even take any drugs, no? Because nilikuwa tunakaa nikiwa very healthy, kwa sababu ya habit yetu ya kula chakula cha shamba, ya ng'ombe, maziwa na mambo kama hayo. Unaona? Lakini leo unakuta ya kwamba kijana wa miaka 20 anakaa mzee kama babu yake amesafiri.
I'm sorry. Come on, give it a round of applause. So we are here as persons with disability, pushing forward for a healthy nation with all the MCAs here in this room. Asanteni kwa hiyo. So we move on to the next recommendation on how people can get better health. Si ni kweli? So kazi ya MCAs, muko na kazi. Mnafikiria tu kwa MCA tu ni kuzungumza tu policy. Kuna kazi nyingi. Na si kupigana. Si mnaona? Ama ninaamsha some certain areas. Si ni kweli? And this one I've just projectively, when we decided this, she had told me 10 minutes. So I quickly added the slides where she said 45 minutes. So next slide. I hope it's making sense. Is it? Okay. So the next thing is, how do we create more employment opportunities for people in Kenya? And that is inclusion. Now in London, I was the Liberal Democrat London Inclusion Champion for the whole of LinkedIn. Atafadhali mnipigie makofi nilijaribu hapo. So politically, I was pushing from my political party. Besides politics, I'm not here for politics, but politically I wanted the whole of London iwe na inclusion. I was not being paid for that because I was in the committee. So everything that we did, I would bring it on the table. The most important thing that I learned from that was making sure that I was in that desk. Because if I'm not in that desk, in Europe we have discrimination, especially when it comes to Africans, kutoka Africa na nini. So you have to be very resilient. Unanisikiliza? And resilient is a good thing for all of you to have. And never give up. I never give up. I will say it and say it and say it and say it mpaka kila mtu asikie aseme, hey mama, umesema tumesikia. It is a good spirit. But in some places in Africa, it might be a little bit, oh, respect me. I want you to have boundaries in terms of, again, making sure that ukiwa nyumbani iko your respect. Lakini tukiwa kwa board meeting, tunataka mambo ya Kenya yaendelee. Mnanisikia? So, pushing there. What are the barriers? What have been dilemmas, na nilisikia katika groups zenu mlikuwa na dilemmas in different parts from the previous summit. Issues such as accessibility of the hotel or wherever. Now, this is interesting. Whose responsibility is that? The money was there, but the decision of the people who actually made that decision forgot maybe they were dealing with persons with disability. So issues of good management system structures perhaps needs to be checked with yourselves. Si ni kweli? Ndio mna make sure hiyo pesa inakuwa ina used efficiently. Si ni kweli? So more trainings for managers, please there. What are the what are the success? And I heard in your various counties, success in, was it Kajiado? Success, you know, you have picked different success things that are working very well in your communities. It's our. Now, it's good that you're all here, and I love this kind of forum, because you're able to share honestly. Don't fear sharing. Sometimes some people are there, na wamekuja tu wananyamaza. Unanyamaza tu kusikiliza. Okay, ni vizuri kama unasikiliza. Lakini, I want to know what is in that brain of yours. Unanisikia? Because you can be sitting there and you haven't really inputted. Lakini ukienda huko nje, wewe ndio wa kwanza kucomplain. Na saa zile tulikuwa tumeketi hapa, hukusema. Si ni kweli? So, learn to express your views. Express them. Si ni kweli? I've learned over the years to express my views. Even feelings. You say it. So, at the end of the day, as long as it's not personal attacks. So, for instance, I'll give you a good example. Don't say, Juliet, wewe ni mbaya sana hukufanya kitu fulani. No, you say, Juliet, accessibility of transport haikufanyika. So what are we doing about that? Mnaona tofauti? And I think that would help. Ni sawa? Communication. Si ni kweli? So improving our way of communication. And the next slide, my dear. How well have communities supported persons with disability? How well? That's my next question. How well have communities supported persons with disability?
I doubt whether communities really have people with disability here. Rather, they have an individual who will come and help. But when it comes to communities themselves, most of the time they keep away from issues regarding disabilities. One, they fear the costs. Two, they also would not wish or like to be associated with the persons with disability. For example, I had mentioned earlier that I have in our chat, we have a small center for persons with disability. Now, because these children have got to be fed, they have got to be, people would not want to, give freely, because they look up at them like they are like a liability. Yes.
Tafadhali, ninaona watu wengine wanaangalia masimu zao, na this is a very important session. Tafadhali.
I think I can narrow it down to my ward, whereby some communities have come up with groups, whereby they start income generating activities, whereby they help the people who are living with disability.
In most of the communities, especially where I come from, well, they have come up with the groups the people living with disability have joined groups. They have started activities that will generate money, like poultry and even merry-go-round. But at the same time, when you look at the community in general, the community is naive, somehow ignorant. They are naive. They have not yet known. They have not been exposed on how to handle people living with disability. They look at the people living with disability as people who just require assistance. Sometimes they are looked at beggars and such other way. But many of the communities are naive in matters to deal with how they should handle the people living with disability.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa. So you can hear those issues. And I want to applaud at this stage all the interfaith groups. Mnakumbuka makanisa? Tafadhali tupigie makofi makanisa zote za nchi ya Kenya, hata mosques za Kenya. Tuwapigie makofi sana kwa kusaidia persons with disabilities. Si ni kweli? Na pahali wameweza, si ndio? Na all the congregations. Asanteni sana. And we thank the government of Kenya for ensuring that, oh, sorry, we've got someone else.
Kule Migori tunaye makabila nyingi ambayo yanakaa kwa kaunti yetu. Sasa kuna kabila bado yetu Kuya wanachukua ulemavu kama kasi kwa ujamii. Sasa we still need some civic education so that our people can know and can know how to help a person with disability.
Thank you so much. So we're looking at issues, how well do MCAs and even persons with disability in whichever groups, they create that awareness. And that reminds me to give you a quick story. In London, mnakumbuka wakati tulikuwa na Olympics? Mnakumbuka? Now, one of the things that I personally did through DKC, which is a CBO here, I didn't care whether anybody wanted to know, but tulikuwa na what they call Paralympic Games. Mnazikumbuka? Mulifuatilia? Ni wangapi walifuatilia MCA? If you didn't, from today, mukiona mambo ya disability tafadhali munafuatilia. Ulifuatilia, tunashukuru Migori.
Yeah, even I think my count participated. Makueni. Yeah.
Asante, pigeni Makueni makofi hapo. So we are picking on the issue of sports. Now I want to appreciate the commissioner. Sijui kama bado ndio commissioner, but Gordon, mnamjua wa sports? Gordon Oluoch, commissioner of sports. Nataka kumshukuru. Hebu mpigieni makofi. Mnamwambia hata nilisema hivyo. Immediately nilisikia wanakuja, I decided there is a guy called Simiyu wa sports. Mnamjua Simiyu? Simiyu wa basketball. So Simiyu is related somehow or married to a member of my family somewhere. My sister got in touch with me. Thanks to my sister. Hebu mpigeni makofi. Hebu mpigeni makofi. Thank you, Penina Makapila. She's got a good hearing. Alinipigia simu akaniambia, Juliet, mimi nataka unisaidie. Nikamuuliza nini tena usisumbue. Unanisikia? Akaniambia, akiwa ndio unaweza kuwasaidia. Unajua? Unanisikia? There's a conversation happening here. I like to tell my things through stories because then it makes sense. Si ni kweli? So, This is somebody I didn't know. So, disability. And I want to appreciate Simiyu. Hebu pigieni Simiyu makofi. These are real stories. Si ni kweli? Haya, kwanza hebu niambie niko na how many minutes? Mary? Niendelee? Niendelee tu. Haya. So, I want to appreciate Simiyu. Simiyu akaniambia, when Simiyu came with a small group kutoka hapa. Walikuja na what they call, mnajua tuko na team ya, not through the government. So nakumbuka Paralympics iko na, they put up a website. Sasa kutoka UK, so nakumbuka. So uko na wale wameshinda, hiyo ni national teams zimeshinda. Unanielewa? And through that I was pushing sports as well. Si ni sawa? Lakini sasa hao wakaja na group ingine ilikuwa nafikiri inaitwa Andes or something like that. A small, really, you could say a very small charity. Ni sawa? And so they got some kind of funding championing for 3 or 4 of them to come to UK. So pigeni hiyo nini, the community, because it helps. And what they did in Regent's Park, wakaja wakabeba, si mnakumbuka zile torch bearers. Mnaziona torch bearers? Zile walitembea. Now they were the first. Wakatembea kutoka Regent's Park yote. Okay. Wakatembea katika Regent's Park yote. Yeah? So walipotembea katika Regent's Park yote, pale, I was there and we managed to get the support through the Commissioner Oluoch. That is why that story was really important. And it's important to connect it all. Si ni kweli? Ili tunakuwa efficient. Si ni kweli? So, asanteni. So remember those stories really create your units. Ni sawa? So my next slide, we're running out of time. So so now we come. Earlier on we saw the buses of London. And I'm glad I captured that. Because London buses are red. We've got the good public transport. Now this is the YouTube. Here. Tuko na YouTube hapa. Pole, hapo hizo. Alafu hizo zingine ni trunks. We call them trunks. So all you do is, okay, now when you're building transport system here, I don't want you to make mistakes like some of the mistakes Europe has made. Unanisikia? So while you're thinking about your transport system, it's not that in all the all the YouTubes, tunaziita YouTube, since YouTube zote ziko na accessibility za disability. Unanisikia? So while you're busy building your new ones here, ensure that while they're building yours here in Kenya, zote ziwe na disability access. Kwa sababu hizo zilijengwa zamani. Si ni kweli? Mnanisikia? So remember that that's a real important issue for you to consider. Kwa sababu kwingine kuko, so mkiangalia YouTube map, mtaona pahali tu mnaweza kwenda. Mnanielewa? And I champion those issues even in UK. Okay, so we've got the London buses, which is the red buses, London Overground, and then Overground. And as you had earlier on, phobia. Wengine wako na phobia, so most of them will use Overground. So, okay, my next page, as we come to the end. And how is our grass looked after Kenya? I mentioned that earlier. Does this maintain well, and how do we create employment in this sector? I'm setting up a question. And my next slide. How well are we this is a very big question for all of you. How well are we prepared for old age as people are living longer? Old age, chronic illnesses, we talked about that. Arthritis, back problem. Ni wangapi mnasikia kwa mama kila siku anapiga kelele na mnajua kazi za zetu hapa nyumbani ziko ni kulima. Back problem, si ndio? So are we getting farming tools? Ama tunaangalia mambo za permaculture, new ways and methods of farming. Si ni kweli? New technology that is upcoming. Mental health and depression, we saw that earlier. This is very important. Loneliness and widowed. Loneliness and widowed. How many persons with disability wanajisikia lonely? Mnanisikiliza? Wako wengi. How are HCAs tackling that? Sisemi mwende mwa encourage kwenda kunini, but what I'm saying is are there good social clubs to help remove the suffering and mental issues? That's what I'm saying. Eyesight and deafness iko pale. Msisahau, as we grow older, macho inakataa kuona. Si ni kweli? Do all our hospitals in our counties ziko na clinics za macho? Ni sawa? Because it affects all of us, whether you're disabled or you're not disabled. My next slide. So how well are we prepared for old age? How does disability person accommodate well with this? How to, na utasikia watu wa disabled, thank you even to all of them wale wanakasirikana. Wanasema mimi nimechoka. Hivi na hivi. Their legs ziko so. Some of them with wheelchairs. Wengine wanaenda wanauza their things. Wanaenda na mkuu. So that's why I asked that question earlier on. It's absolutely critical. Are they very healthy in terms of what has been happening? And I think my next question, that was in housing. And I want to give a round of applause to Madam Esther Onana, the chair of Kadika. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. Sijasikia. MC tafadhali. Nataka kusema pia Honorable Josephine Wakitui. Nataka kumappreciate tafadhali. Now all the organizers, Iris, thank you so much for welcoming us very beautifully. Now on top of that, all of you MCAs, all of you are special. All of you. I spoke to somebody from Meru earlier this afternoon, networking. I'm hearing all your contributions. And remember the PAs. PAs when you come critical. Yes, ni kweli? Na nimesikia hapa mlikuwa mnauliza vile mtawalipa na nini. That should be put in the government's assistance because that is what you need. Si ni sawa? Ndio msiwe ati nani anawasaidia. Lakini nitaachia hapo. And on behalf of UK Africa Diaspora Forum founder, I'm also the DKC founder, which is Diversity in Kenya. I want you to champion also promoting inclusion. Not within the sector of just persons with disability. Na hakuna ukabila katika disability. Work together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Juliet. Members, tumebarikiwa. Madam Juliet, thank you for your humbleness. Thank you for talking to us. We even like people to talk to us for your information. Please feel seated here because that is where you belong. Honorable members, even getting someone to talk to you, most of us are lonely. Is that the truth? Yes. Because we wonder, you know me, since I started knowing Madam Amy, I've been going through the notes at times and I wonder, when is implementation coming to take place? Until sometimes I just get emotional. Because those ones are the realities on the ground. And even with the engagements, you see government ministries come, and then they promise us all heaven. Even that we saw in the pre-summit, and honestly, I wish I was speaking when Madam Lona was around here. We were promised a lot of things. I remember some kusikia ukule Kisumu. And when time came, I tell you, even me calling the departments, the government state officers, calling them to confirm, when you talked about the president's Big Four agenda, where have you put us? Because we want to know. I want to share. It was like, oh, Mheshimiwa, you know, you need to book an appointment and come and... Then others I even pressed and said, please, if this call is an ambush, then please allow me call you tomorrow so that you give me something substantive. So moving forward, members, we have talked a lot. You've not even seen me post anything on the wall. Just because I have not been given something to touch. But Madam Mary told us in the morning that at least we are starting. I want to thank God for my friend Juliet. Because as we so engaged nationally here, we are also finding a way of getting out. Si mnaona members tukienda London? Yes, the few of us who went to London, those ones were few. We are getting to London. If you think we are not going, please just go and start praying about it. we have got partners. Partners are here. We will have partners who will take us out and we'll go and stay and learn and know. So that ukisimama assembly, even if it is 30 years, the way one honorable member was saying when the clip was played, please let something happen, even a bicycle which is disability accessible. You will count during your era. So that you even make your own house. I was whispering to Mheshimiwa Makabongo that it took my plan 7,000 from the ministry, from the Department of Planning. I took my house. I only borrowed from a cousin a design of a house. So when I took it, because I wanted to start putting up, it was like, Mheshimiwa, this thing you have to add another 7,000. Actually, the cost, which is the policy, is 7,000. So I was taxed another 7,000. And I told them, I want to have a disability-friendly house. If I am like this today, and then I put up a house with staircase, honestly, and then my friends come, am I walking the talk? So they told me, what you want, we are going to consult an engineer. I told them, please, don't consult an engineer which is going to take me much. Consult yourselves and do me a plan which is very accommodating. Naweza kupika hata nikiketi chini. That is what I wanted, because then sikupika ni kazi yangu. So members, let us walk the talk. Don't usikae kwa kwenye hata nikikuja kukutembelea na shangaa nitaingia namna gani Mheshimiwa Bulei. And then tukiwa hapa, that you know I've implemented policy on disability. While living in our own homes. Where would policy work even in our own homes we have not started? So the question starts with us. Those are two major issues that came from Consultant Mary and has come from Madam Julia. That is why I'm emphasizing. So moving forward, the day is gone. It is almost, I think, some 40 minutes past 4, and honorable members na jamii ya Nairobi. Ndio inatufanya hata tupende kuja Nairobi. Nairobi iko na mambo yake. So before we even close, allow us close, and please members, let us be here tomorrow as early as possible, because we have got this part of afternoon session that has been overtaken by our eating lunch and even us being late in the morning. So everything started getting late from morning. So you can imagine, tomorrow we must do what we were to do this afternoon. Part of it, we've only done half. So members, be here tomorrow in good time. And good time does not mean 10. If you will be here and we kick off our studies by 9, Madam Mary, please, members with others who have gone, that by 9 tomorrow we shall have started. So even if I am late, please start, because I'll not control. Because we are here for a purpose and we have to take what is meant for us. Many of the opinions say that we are meeting here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Say aye. Aye. Members of the contrary opinion say nay. So the ayes have it. That is parliamentary. So even if I had 2 ayes, please come. Tomorrow at 9, Madam Facilitator, please stay awake. Tomorrow at 9 we are starting. Even without my presence, we will start. Thank you so much. Otherwise, and unless there is something which is emerging.
Madam Iris, when you atafika mbele atapatiwa which is us. This is from House of Lords. Ama Julia answer the most questions for tomorrow.
Both of you probably are just around and some of us are coming from very far away from Nairobi. Yeah.
So we have a gift from the House of Lords.
We have a gift from the. This is somebody who gave me this. I bought it maybe. Sorry, this one I bought. But I just felt to inspire you all. I want you to decide, how will we give this present to somebody in this house? So for tomorrow.
So we will think. We will think. And members, you'll open a forum in the night so that we think, who is this best one who is carrying a gift?
Yes.
from the House of Commons in Europe. That is very great.
Nikijiko, lakini I want you to remember that since you picked up, I felt so like, really overwhelmed. I want us to remember UK. So I picked something just to say that tuko na House of Lords katika hapa. And in fact, the reason I got in touch immediately with her is because I say I want to speak about those issues coming from Kenya as well. And I quickly called her to share this. Even beginning my coffee. And I picked it.
I'm humble. Madam, you keep it.
I'll
Madam,
keep it.
keep it.
I will hand it over to somebody here tomorrow. So I'll be looking out. And it's a good point, but it doesn't matter. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. 9 o'clock. If you're coming from far, Jipange. This hour.
So, Madam Lona, while you are out, we are sorry that we started being late in the morning. And even in your house, when you start late, you always end the day late. So it is not, our afternoon has been cut short by half because of we reported here at 12. I will call 11, 20, 12 because that is only a difference of 40 minutes. So moving forward, we are here for a purpose, and we are saying that we are going to whip ourselves that by 9 tomorrow is not the arrival time. 9 we have started the program. And I mean 9 a.m., not 9 p.m. So please be utupange vizuri so that by 9 the program starts. I have said while you're away, even if I'm not there, because I'm a human being, I'm weak also. But I promise, because I'm a leader. You know, a leader leads by example. And I lead from behind. So waheshimiwa wote, with our discrepancies of walking and seeing and hearing and everything, I always lead from behind. It means that I will be here. So we thank God for the day and for your patience and for your attention. And we want to take just 2 minutes. Any member who has been inspired to speak, just a word to our facilitators. Just a 2-minute brief. Just 2 minutes. Remember when you're most of our members are living out. Let me give National Felicitas. She is the minimal. She's the one who has talked minimal. Take 2 minutes and appreciate our facilitators.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair Lady. Thank you very much, our facilitator. We have really enjoyed you, and I wish we were the way you are, the way you are talking. If we can get that motivation and we talk the way we talk, I believe we are going to succeed in most of the things we are doing in Kenya. Our facilitator, Juliet, we welcome you to Kenya. We are going to welcome you to our sub-county so that you can come and talk to the disabilities wherever they are and know their problem. I believe that in few weeks or months, you will invite us to UK, those who are here. You can even start with the officials which are here. We represent those whom we have left back at the sub-county. So if you invite us, I'm sure we are going to be happy. Are we not going to be happy? We will come to UK under you, and we will do what you did to that gentleman in the politics, in the sports. And then when we come back to Kenya, we are going to appreciate more. Next time you will even invite two from each constituency, and then you go with. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Keep us informed. We are going to call you. Remember, even if you go back to UK, remember the disabilities in Kenya so that you can run at the same time at the park. You can even be there spiritually. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody who has taken this on her time to be here and to get the good news we have got. Otherwise, thank you very much. We hope we meet tomorrow at 9. Not at 9.
I was a little sensitive, and I wanted Mheshimiwa Godana from Tana River to pray for us, but it's gone out. You know, when we are mixed Christian and Muslims, then we have to recognize that all of us are members in the house. and because we are missing Mheshimiwa Godana, I know one of the members are even consulted on phone, who is taking us, who is putting our lives into the hands of Jehovah God so that we are kept safe. Mheshimiwa Seka. You know, Mheshimiwa Seka is our LGC representative. That is his name. Mheshimiwa, tangu tukuchague jana bwana na asubuhi ya hukuwa. 1 minute word bwana. Tell us something and then you pray for us. 1 minute. You missed a lot in the morning.
Oh, thank you very much, Chair. Come, honorable colleagues, and other people in the room. My name is Aseka MCA Kakamega. You realize that the room is not full, and the room is half full of what we are supposed to be, because I think there must have been an error by CAF, because most county assemblies haven't gotten the invitation for today and tomorrow's meeting. Most of us got the invitation for the ground meeting yesterday, but for today and tomorrow we haven't, including myself in Kakamega. That is why I was asking on WhatsApp, which meeting is in Safaricom? And so I came by invitation of WhatsApp colleagues on the group. But I'm sure that is something that we'll look at next time. Allow me to thank you. I was not there in the morning. I came in the afternoon because of the same reasons. But allow me to thank you for our facilitators. Jerry, we know her very well. I work with her. She's a lady we love, appreciate, we admire. I wish something happened. Since we have met when we are all of us of 18, then I think we might have been late, especially for things from the second. But it's a lady we highly appreciate. Both our facilitators and my sister, was facilitator this afternoon, Miss Mahabila, thank you very much. You've spoken well. We have learned a lot from you. The examples comparatively, the UK and Kenya, we have realized that there are similarities and there are differences, but wholly UK are ahead of us. I'm sure with your presence in future, we should be striving to ensure that the people we serve, the very PWDs we serve in the villages and towns, should be able to benefit from our legislative agendas. The other thing is that colleagues, you remember yesterday we identified a gap in the new CAF constitution, and in NEC we realized that we are likely not to have a representative in the NEC other than the NGC. And the petition has already been drafted. It was done yesterday by a lady called Regina from CAF, and she told me that she would share with my chair, Madam Monana, so that Madam Monana can sign and even send to the group so that it is acted upon quite fast before the election. Because when we go there with that petition a day to elections, we told we are late, and that would be reasonable. So we have to act as fast as we can. The other thing, honorable colleagues, as we go away and probably see each other tomorrow, let us try to keep time. For those of us who got the invitations in Nairobi, let us not come at 11. Let us try to come early. Even where you are sleeping, you can pay for room only and don't pay for breakfast, so that you come early to go up at a safe place. So, and even if you stay with somebody, a relative or your home, save your pesa kidogo sababu tulipia bajai na tukuje mapema. What I'm trying to say is that let us try to come as early as we can, so that we don't let down. When these people sponsor us for these meetings here and we come late, it discourages sometimes. I've worked with the government for some time and I know what it means. So when we come early, CAF should be able to recognize that they forgot, they made the mistakes of not sending us letters, including myself. That is why the 4 colleagues from Kakamega are not here. It's only me who is here, because I had another meeting. Anyway, so that colleagues, let us make it quite early. So I want us to arise so that I can pray as we see each other, For those who can stand, stand. For those who cannot stand, continue sitting. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we come before you this time saying thank you for taking good care of us throughout our travels to this session until we finish the first session. Father, we say thank you for facilitated us. Thank you for our sponsors, development partners. Thank you for our aides, and thank you for everybody who's made this place, who's made this meeting successful. Father, we thank you and we ask you to bless our CAF so that next time they don't forget to send us letters, Father. Father, CAF keeps on forgetting to send us letters and we miss a lot of money and we suffer, Father. Touch the hearts of those who work with CAF so that they take care of our needs as they are supposed to. Father, we'll be happy when we meet here in the morning tomorrow. Give us strength, give us power, and give us a heart to love, appreciate, and respect each other. I pray this short thing and trust in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And as Mheshimiwa finishes that, can I applaud Madam Esther once again? Hebu mpigeni makofi. Haya, tufanyeni ya hip hip. Hip hip ya kwanza. Ya kwanza. Haya, tufanye na mguu basi. Ya kwanza. Ya pili. Na tupigie makofi our MC Mary Jerry tafadhali. Na Lona. Na ya Iris. Na ya wale watu wametufili pia hapa Safaricom. Hapa Safaricom. Hapa Safari Park Hotel. And we thank you all. Bless you, all of you. Thank you.
Huyo demu anakuja.
Unakunywa chai, unakula snacks, unaenda kulala.
Na kuna huko pesa bwana.
Yaani ulisema ungeongelea sana.
Tajiri kama mimi. Hata tuache hizi. I'm a man of means. I'm a man of means.
That's why you want to show yourself that you are
I'm equal to the task. Vijana wakajiweka chona nao. Kunywa chai bwana.
And I tell you what a lovely day today. It's been absolutely brilliant. Those watching from UK, I acknowledge you, all of you. And thank you so much. Should I say disability inclusion? And of course, the Chamwanda report. We love you, we love all the MCAs. United Kingdom. Thank you for the work that you're doing. All of you absolutely bringing in the ideas, shaping up. We are going to implement. They are talking about implementation. They need key resources to talk about implementation. Resources are needed. DFID, you've seen them. They talk about it. Until then, with Juliet Makapila right here, community change maker, they have invited me to see what they do across the whole country. Thank you, Juliet Makapila. Bye-bye. See you later. Julia, Edward, many thanks for coming on board. Jega George, asante sana. Efri, asante. Umefurahia hapa? Asante sana, tumefurahia. Sema something, ongea, watu wakusikie.
What we need is benchmarking. We need a benchmark to UK so that our people, especially people or MCS with disability, can know what is taking place in UK. Yeah.
And which county do you come from?
I'm coming from Migori County.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to say your name?
Yeah. Mheshimiwa Bernard Ochuodho.
Okay.
Ojuok.
Asante sana.
Honorable Bernard Ochuodho Ojuok.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your contribution, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Yes.
And yourself?
Honorable Isaac Munyo from Makueni County. I want to appreciate our facilitators today, especially Juliet Makafaro.
Thank you. Yes.
For the good facilitation that he has given to us
Asante.
on how the people with disability
Asante.
should be included in the Constitution of Kenya, and also how we as people with disability should first of all accept ourselves.
Asante.
And by so doing, we think the people living with disability in this country will be ahead.
Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for all the input, and I look forward for more tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll definitely give you my number
thank you.
later. Thank you. And I'll come to Makueni if you invite me. Put some money for that.
Thank you.
Asante.
Okay.
And as we are speaking here, I'm in Kenya, shaping up the issues about persons with disability, invited by all the MCAs, and I'm absolutely delighted to be amongst the people of Kenya. Thank you so much, Efi, Kresho Thiambo, Savelina Dolovu, Msindo Duma, Sani Kibe, Duchess Nena watching from UK, Albert Kipchumba, asante sana polisi wetu. Hata polisi tunataka wapate awareness na kuomba fanya kazi ya huko uwalete. Albert Kipchumba, thank you. Esther Wakonyo, lovely to see you. James Karaoke, thank you so much for seeing you. Rosalina Fatipe, asante, thank you so much, and I'm not forgotten about you. Timothy Kipchumba Toroitich, lovely to see you. Kimani, Alex, and of course Estelle Njeri, thank you so much, my dear friend. Thank you for pushing me as well. I love you to bits. Let me just quickly grab, what did you think? Do you want to say something? Quick one? Introduce your county.
Selina Koske from Uasin Gishu County. Yeah.
Sauti, watu kusikia?
Selina Koske from Uasin Gishu County.
Uasin Gishu County, fantastic. Kuna mtu ana watch kutoka huko. So,
I represent persons with disabilities. And in Uasin Gishu County, we have really done well in terms of disability mainstreaming. Like recently, there was an advert for employment, specifically for BWDs, and 26 of them were employed in various categories.
You. Well done, Uasin Gishu County.
The deaf community, 15 of them were employed to render cleaning services, irrespective of their qualifications in our county.
Well done.
And last year, 34 of them were employed also. And I think we are doing well in terms of disability mainstreaming.
Thank you.
Recently, we had an equitable bill for Uasin Gishu County, meaning 40% of the resources was to be distributed to the ward levels, and 60% for flagship projects.
Fantastic.
And in the ward level, 5% of every resource that is in a ward belongs to the special group. That is the BWDs, the youths, and the women.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
How amazing. Uasin Gishu, you top it up for me there. And I've got Albert Kipchumba watching. He's a police officer. I know he's worked somewhere around Eldoret or lives around Eldoret, pushes all those kind of issues. Many thanks. And tomorrow I'll take your number. We continue talking.
Thank you.
That is how we want our place, and I will definitely be speaking to you when I finish this one. Thank you. Asante sana, Uasin Gishu Council. You can see Mohammed Sadiq, lovely to see you. Samuel Njuki, it's lovely to see you. Oladipe, do you want to say something? Okay, Oladipe Olayinka, lovely to see you. Komiakowa Nyambura, who is my volunteer manager. Paul, I love you to bits. I've mentioned you here today and pushing for volunteer expenses so that we are able to manage that. And that has happened here today, and bringing it in right live here in Nairobi. Kadiaku, Karanja Joseph, and I did tell them the issues that the barriers that we faced. I brought that issue so that they were able to learn from the issues that we were championing here. And I've got someone else who is so special. Tell us about your county.
Okay, I'm Victorine, Honorable Victorine Atieno Nyamolo from Kilifi County. In Kilifi County, we have. I'm so much grateful to learn today, and especially you in specifically that have come and partner with our teachers who have come to teach us. We've learned a lot from you, especially and we were looking on the disability inclusion from UK. We've learned a lot, and we have just realized that we in Kenya, we are trying, the government is trying in Kenya, although that we are still way back because of the implementation. we really appreciate your
Facilitation.
Your facilitation.
Thank you.
And we wish that you come in Kilifi County at least and come in the grassroots and meet the persons with disability.
Asante.
Yes, because the challenges that you shared with us, those are the real challenges that we are facing back in the grassroots.
And I remember that when they were doing the issue of sitting volleyball, was it in Kilifi that they did the Kilifi County, maybe, or Mombasa around? Yes. So I was one of the people that contributed to that, to make sure that the people in Nakuru arrived in your place, and that was through myself as good wishes and also through DKC.
Wow.
So yes, so it's lovely to see the honors and all the work that you did, and I know we took champions in terms of taking sitting volleyball, and it became a sports here in Kenya. So thank you Kilifi, thank you Mombasa, and thank you to my very good friend and also my coordinator as well and volunteer Paul. I love him to bits for helping shape up and bring these issues to myself and all the volunteers, Mary, Beatrice, every volunteer. And I saw you clapping when I was asking for the issues of volunteers to be considered. So I thank you as well for those contributions. And I'm happy. Make it happen. You're the MCAs. Let the diaspora not to be forgotten. Tomorrow I'll be speaking about the diaspora so that we can see how you coordinate efforts as well. Asante sana, Madam Victoria Honorable. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Asante. Tutaonana kesho.
Yeah.
Juliet.
I can send you in WhatsApp like this.
Yes.
What about if
Let
you're
me
in
put
UK?
it if I'm in UK. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I'll follow it up.
And we appreciate the spirit that you have.
Thank you.
For helping the persons with disability.
Asante.
Especially, we call ourselves persons with special ability.
Absolutely. Thank you. I love that one, and I'll take that one. I love it. Asanteni sana. Kwa kunikaribisha nyinyi nyote katika constituency zenu, na tutazidi kuzungumza ili mambo hayo yote yaweze kuwa implemented, na tutapush, but let's not forget the community developers as well. And I thank all of you MCAs for enabling this to shape up. Many thanks. Kadiato Samasa Sese, thank you. Emily Wanjiro, my dear wonderful sports coach. I spoke about sports earlier, and of course I spoke about volunteering and the issues that it brings as well. Still, Jerry Duncan, lovely to have seen you. Matt Mutuku, karibu. Maureen Makapila, asante sana. Helen Atim, thank you so much for your support always for Women Make Change. And of course, Emily Wanjiro, I'm delighted you're watching this, and if you're around, let's meet up, please. Michael Ayonkule Odetola, I hope we'll take this to Nigeria as well. Somebody's pushing that towards Nigeria. Also, Kibet Kitoni, lovely to see you. Martin Koyabe, asante sana, niko hapa Kenya, pushing the matters of disability, all the MCAs over here. Tony, Tom Tukumbo, lovely to see you. My cousin Esther Kanywa, asante sana kuwa hapa na sisi, and I know the issues that you're dealing in Kibera, so all those issues. Peter Bray, lovely to see you. And as we come towards the end of this session, El Muruli, it's lovely to see you. Okpong, lovely to see you. Bani Abu, Changemaker as well, lovely to see you. Eunice M. Wafula, lovely to see you. Denish, who is now the parliamentary EU. Here I've spoken, you can see I've got the EU thingy over here. Tomorrow I'll be speaking about what changes should they be thinking about in Brexit issues and stuff like that. We ask you to remember Commonwealth as well. So it's lovely to see you. Sharif Abdallah, lovely to see you. Thank you so much to my own great comrade Olayomuki Koiki. Please help me share this video. I love you for watching here today in Nairobi, right down at Safari Hotel here in Kenya, and this is a good venue for accessibility, so we chose this one here. Joseph Njogu Mwai, Abala Wanga Darrell model, lovely to all of you. See you. And of course, Manila Holly. And every single person, if I've forgotten you, please bear with me. But I love you all. My battery is going down. Until then, please watch us tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be bringing in another topic, and I'll put that up later on. And on behalf of every single person who has watched, let me grab her. Okay. On behalf of every single person and on behalf of the Republic of Kenya, we thank our Constitution for including persons with disability. And of course, we thank the Republic, the President as well, for the pillars that he has put through. Thank you so much to the USID and all the sponsors and the people who organize this event. We love you all. See you later. We're pushing issues and inclusion for persons with disability right abroad Kenya, right down to all the constituencies across Kenya. Juliet Makapila, HANM 1000, HANM 1000. Bye-bye for now, and I love you all, and thank you also for watching from wherever in the world you are in. I want you to share these issues and promote inclusion for persons with disability. Until then, it's you in the spirit of making a better world. It's within us all. And speak soon. And thank you. Bye-bye.